Do you remember learning to drive? Those of you who learned to drive a car with a standard or a manual transmission, do you remember needing to focus really hard to remember the sequence of things? Gas pedals and clutches and gear sticks, and oh no, you might need to turn a corner at the same time. Remember to check your blind spot and use your indicator, and you'll need both hands on the wheel to turn. Now you've got both feet doing different things, both hands doing multiple things. Your head is turning to the side, and your eyes are looking in several different directions in a very short amount of time. Whew, I mean, that's a lot of information to retrieve from your memory at once, all while processing the feedback coming from the environment. Practice is the key to perfecting any task that requires events to happen in a certain order. Think about how it felt to learn how to type, or to play a musical instrument, or learn the movements required to play a sport. For those of you who have tried golfing, you'll know how it feels to think about your hand placement on the club, and keeping your head down and twisting your back at the start of your swing, but not shifting your hips nor your wrists until just the right moment, etc. The only way to convert all the necessary steps into a smoothly executed task is to practice, practice, practice. And we tend to forget that dog training requires that same type of practice. Think back at that hand washing task. And because this is a task that you've performed tens of thousands of times at least, your brain is free to focus on other things while you mindlessly wash your hands. You're actually so unaware of what you're doing that you had to really think about it when you were asked to describe the task in minute detail. But obviously, you've got the sequence of events down pat. I mean, you're not wiping your soapy hands on the towel, and you're not leaving the room with the tap still running, presumably. The sequence of events is like second nature to you now because there's been tons of repetition over a lifetime. If we want our training sessions to pack the biggest and most effective punch, our timing needs to be spot on, and the sequence of events needs to be correct. In training, if we get it wrong, we might inadvertently reinforce the wrong behavior. Or the dog might not understand what it is that we want. Or we might create an association that results in an undesired emotional response. Practice and repetition allows us to develop muscle memory. And once that's established, we're better able to focus on other parts of the task of training, like reading our dog's body language and noticing other elements in the environment that are important. If using a marker such as a clicker or a whistle feels like second nature to you today, if you're a seasoned trainer, surely you'll remember what it felt like the first few times that you used it. You needed to remember to mark the behavior at just the right moment and before reaching for the treat. And how many times have I seen trainers new to the clicker toss the treat while clicking simultaneously? I mean, I've seen people accidentally toss the clicker to the dog instead of tossing the treat. Not because they didn't understand the concept of using a marker, of course they did, but the physical task was still so new that it required more focus, and it threw their game off a little bit at first. If you're new to using desensitization and counter conditioning techniques, expect some hiccups to happen at first. Your timing may be off, and you may present things in the incorrect order as you practice and you begin to commit movements to memory. This is why we'll be practicing our new skills using items that mean nothing to your dogs, neutral stimuli with which your dogs have not yet formed any associations. You'll get the chance to work out all the kinks before working on the real issues, and this should greatly increase your rate of success.